China has the concept of massive ghost cities where nobody is living. These cities are empty enough to feed the entire population of France. And local government took massive loans to build these cities and projects, but now they are unable to pay the salaries of their employees. To understand the China's debt problem, let's look into how the Chinese government functions. The central government in China announces a 5% GDP growth target, and every province rushes to achieve this target. But if you want to stand out, your province sets the target of 6.5%. Because in China, if you beat the national average, you become a standout and get better opportunities as wealthier province or to go the nationals. In China, 85% of tax revenue is generated by the local governments, but only half of it is given to them to spend. Suppose 2 billion of revenue was recorded and only a billion was given to the local governments to spend. So the local governments cannot raise the money and have limited funds. So they created a shadow company called the Local Government Funding Vehicle, LGFVs. These LGFVs can borrow money and their sole purpose is to serve local governments. And local government lease a piece of land at low interest to these LGFVs, and this LGFVs show this piece of land to the bank and borrows money, and bank does not hesitate to give them money because the local government is involved. As soon as the LGFS gets money, they simply launch the projects. But here is when the complications started. Because it is funded by LGFS, the LGFS keep on giving contracts to state developers, and because of this the Chinese household spends their 70 to 80% of life saving in this real estate because the real estate price is appreciating and China's economy is booming. But these projects are built where there is no demand, and because of this something rise as the ghost cities, and their occupancy levels is only stand at 10%. And because of this a vicious cycle is created in China. The state developers creating one after another projects because it is funded by LGFs, and because of this China's biggest real estate developers cannot pay their debts for over the months. This created a massive crisis in China. All the other developers stopped buying the lands, that eventually dropped the revenue of the local governments and dropped the value of the real estates. And because of the revenue loss, the debt piled up and became a massive bubble debt. And LGFV's debt piled up to $9.3 trillion in late 2023. So after this, the China's economy started depleting. But why are we not seeing anything about the China's economic crisis? Simply because the Chinese government is buying time with the debt swap program. The Chinese government taken all the hidden loans and turned it into a massive government bond. By doing this, they simply have a longer period of time to repayment. They simply gives the lower interest to the banks, but this does not solve the problem. China is at a turning point. Either they pay the tax, fix the system and bounce back greatest, or they do more defaults, people become more jobless and slow down the entire country's GDP or growth. And this eventually affects the whole world.